In 2016, the National Cemetery Administration, a part of the Department of Veterans Affairs, created the Veterans Legacy Program, and UCF was lucky enough to be one of the inaugural schools to work in this partnership. The mission of the NCA is to memorialize veterans in over 135 cemeteries across the nation. We are lucky to partner with them in order to extend that memorialization, and we do that by working with UCF faculty, staff, and students, along with K-12 teachers and K-12 students, to bring the stories of veterans out of cemeteries into classrooms across Florida, but also to bring students and our faculty and students into cemeteries and to be able to tell the stories of veterans that we honor in those cemeteries.
Chong. We are here at St. Augustine National Cemetery giving an introduction and an overview of the National Cemetery, starting with the founding of the cemetery, or of St. Augustine, with the Spanish and the Franciscan presence and the Convento de San Francisco, leading into the British period, and then finally ending up with the American occupation and eventual founding of the National Cemetery, and kind of tracing it through its origins, as we see here, up to what we see it as today.
Hi, I'm Maria Uri, and I'm helping Dr. Chong to present the origin of the cemetery, and I'm emphasizing on the diversity of headstone and stories that you can find through this cemetery, and I'm especially speaking about Jason Waitman, who's an African American. I wrote the biography last year.
John Satcher. I'm Associate Professor at the University of Central Florida. Here at our station, we're looking at the wars of the 19th century, in particular the Second Seminole War. The Second Seminole War is clearly the most important war for the St. Augustine National Cemetery. In the cemetery here, there are the 3 Dade pyramids. Underneath that pyramid, they commemorate and memorialize the 1,400 plus soldiers who died in the Second Seminole War, which makes it by far the largest conflict represented here.
And my name is Matt Patsis. I'm a graduate assistant with the VLP. Within this presentation, I'm talking about who the Seminoles were, and giving some context about the First, Second, and Third Seminole War as well.
I'm Barbara Gannon. I'm an associate professor of history at the University of Central Florida. Today, I'll be talking about African Americans in World War I.
I am Gamal McPherson. I'm a graduate student at UCF, and I'll also be talking about the African American experience in World War I.
African Americans had various motivations for serving in the war. One of the primary motivations, though, this is a segregated time period, so they felt that if they served in the military, proved their loyalty, served with distinction and honor, that white Americans at the time period would reward their efforts by giving them equal rights.
This is a very important moment. And African Americans fought hard for there to be black officers who could have that dignity and command.
Hey, I'm Amy Giroux. I work for the University of Central Florida in the Center for Humanities and Digital Research. And today we are going to be doing headstone rubbings in this particular section of the cemetery.
And I am Harper Norris. I'm an undergraduate student at University of Central Florida, and I will be assisting Dr. Giroux in the headstone rubbings. And so we will be explaining to them what headstone rubbings are, how they're made, and ways that they can do this at their own cemeteries.
My name is Allison Simpson. and I work as the command historian for the Florida National Guard. I'm talking to 4th grade students today about the overall history of St. Francis Barracks property, which is one of the oldest buildings in the oldest city, and for about 175 years was a religious headquarters, and then in the British period was converted for use as a military headquarters, and it has served as such since then. But today, since 1907, has been home to the Florida National Guard.
My name is Tom Fitzgerald. I am a veteran of the United States Marine Corps and also a historic reenactor, as well as a veteran advocate in honoring those that have sacrificed for us. There was a solemn parade that were pulled by elegant mules. The wagons, the soldiers that had perished in the battles were taken to the cemetery, and we did it in a solemn parade. And this is my wife and I in historic dress reenacting this whole event from August 15th, 1842.
Hi, my name is Jim Stoddard.
Hi, my name is Daniela Aguirre.
And today, for our Day of Learning, we'll be presenting the Ask a Vet presentation. In it, we'll be telling the students a little bit about our military service, showing them some artifacts from our time, and answering their questions.
We'll also be showing off some items from the room and explaining a little bit of the history.
And what we want you guys to do is just put whatever you feel like putting and say thank you to a veteran.
Our work with the VLP is only at its beginning, and our future is bright. Our Day of Learning and the work that we do with UCF students, faculty, and staff, with K-12 teachers, in order to reach a larger audience of K-12 students and the general public in our state, is really at its beginning, and we're excited for our future.